Good afternoon. It's Monday, April 29. I'm Herman Green with your midday news. Special welcome to those of you watching online at onespotmedia.com. District Constable Jason Williams, who was arrested for making fake bomb threats which disrupted court sittings in downtown Kingston last year, was freed today before the St. Andrew Parish Court. Mr. Williams and businessman Cardell Clark of Toptown in Clarkstown, Trelawney, were charged with creating public mischief. The district constable was freed after the prosecution decided not to pursue the case against him. He was in custody since January. His attorney, Vincent Wellesley, said there was no link between his client and the bomb threats. The backlog of cases before the courts continues to be a problem in the justice system despite ongoing efforts to reduce it. Adding to the number of cases that already exist, last week it was revealed that there were more than 1,000 cases in the new Easter term of the Home Circuit Court in downtown Kingston. Also, in the previous term, only 91 cases were disposed. Speaking on TVJ Smile Jamaica this morning, Director of Public Prosecution Paula Llewellyn said over 300 of those cases were set for a court hearing.
You have 709 cases of that number having been put on the mention list, plea and case management hearing list, and for bail application. So you have 340 cases that have been set for trial up to 2021 so far. So what you have for the rest of the year, you have for Easter term 98 cases to spread between 5 courts.
Ms. Llewellyn said while it's unlikely that all the cases will be disposed of before the term ends in July, the court is ensuring that cases that were assigned a date will be tried.
Attorneys, after a while, will have no need to triple book or double book and say, oh, you know, normally they overpack the list and you can only try one case at a time. Let me also go and set matters in St. Catherine and Clarendon and in the parish court. So it means that everybody knows that once the date is set, the case must go on. And it's only barring an emergency.
At least one police officer is raising concerns about the need for change in the Road Traffic Act to help curb the level of indiscipline on the nation's roads. Deputy Superintendent Paul Bernard says there are too many indisciplined motorcyclists on the roads. Clarendon has recorded 14 fatalities since the start of the year, with 3 motorcycle accidents in 6 days.
I believe it's indiscipline. If you have 40 police on this stretch, as if they're out of the sight of the officers, most of them increase their speed, especially the motorcyclists. There need to be some change into the Road Traffic Act to deal with these motorcyclists. We are losing too much of our young people to careless, dangerous, and reckless riding on the road.
On Saturday, a male motorcyclist died in a crash along the Haynes Main Road in Clarendon. His identity has not been confirmed, but the police have confirmed that speeding was a factor in that crash.
I want to use this medium to remind or to warn motorists and motorcyclists alike to drive or ride within your limitations. You must be aware of your environment. If it is dark, you need to cut your speed. If it is wet, you need to cut your speed. And I'm also reminding the motorcyclists that they are to wear their protective gears.
Meanwhile, a woman is dead and 2 others have been hospitalized following a motor vehicle crash along New Green Road in Manchester Sunday morning. The dead woman has been identified as 19-year-old Janique Chung of Furtado Drive in Mandeville. It's understood that about 2:30, a Mitsubishi Lancer motorcar and a Nissan Tida motorcar were traveling in the same direction. The driver of the Mitsubishi Lancer attempted to overtake the Nissan Tida when it collided with the rear of the Nissan Tida. The driver of the Tida allegedly lost control of the motorcar and crashed into a utility pole. Chung, who was a passenger in the Nissan Tida, was thrown from the vehicle. She sustained several injuries and was taken to hospital where she was pronounced dead. The driver of the Nissan Tida and another passenger remain in hospital. The driver of the Mitsubishi Lancer was treated and released. He has been warned for prosecution. The Clarendon police are making dents in the guns for drug trade with the recent nabbing of an alleged dealer. A team of police carried out an operation in Portland Cottage where 2 guns and several rounds of ammunition were found. Acting on intelligence, a premises occupied by a 28-year-old man and his mother was searched.
Search revealed one Brico 9mm, one Brico .38 revolver, and an Inchatec firearm. Also 147 assorted rounds of ammunition and 1 spent shell. Also found in the room was 18 packages of compressed ganja weighing about 900 pounds. Our intelligence revealed that this young man returned recently from Haiti and was selling firearm and ammunition from this premises. And we believe that he's repackaging to return for one such trip.
According to the police, the residents in the area are aware of the illicit activity but are withholding information.
We are sure that residents in the area are aware because this man was said to be firing gunshots every night, and these people keep silent. I'm appealing to the citizens of Portland Cottage, Rocky Point and surroundings to give up these persons, for anyone can become a victim when these firearms reach into the hands of criminals.
The local government ministry, through a partnership with the National Health Fund, NHF, has taken steps to improve services provided at infirmaries. The first phase of the project is retrofitting infirmaries with sterilizing units known as autoclave machines. The first donation was recently made to the St. Elizabeth Infirmary.
None of our infirmaries in Jamaica has an autoclave. And it's the first time we are getting this kind of equipment in our infirmaries.
It's something that we long needed because previously we had to get the gauze and other items that we use for sterile procedure, sterilized elsewhere.
According to local government minister Desmond McKenzie, over the next few weeks, all infirmaries in the island will be equipped with autoclave machines. It will not be business as usual for a number of organizations which get money from the Ministry of Agriculture. In the next 2 years, a number of those associations will be on their own. TVJ's O'Shane Masters reports.
It is imminent. The word from the Agriculture Ministry to how organizations and associations will have to operate in order to become financially viable and sustainable. Minister without portfolio in the Agriculture Ministry, J.C. Hutchinson, speaking at the Montpelier Agriculture Show, said it's costing the government millions on an annual basis to financially assist these organizations and associations. Of specific note, the Jamaica Agricultural Society, JAS.
The JAS is now going to be transitioned from a public body to a non-government organization within the next 2 years. That means that the Jamaica Agricultural Society will have to be standing on their own 2 feet. At present, government is paying them roughly $100 million a year to assist in the running of their organization.
In his response, President of the JAS, Linworth Fulton, believes the 2-year period which has been given for the transformation to a non-governmental organization, NGO, is too short.
I think it's too short. I think the 2 years argument is an estimate, and we don't know because the government had planned to employ a consultant to do. It's not the JS alone, it's the many other organizations. And Prime Minister Shaw's speech yesterday, he also hinted that the 4-H clubs will have to go as well. That came out of his speech yesterday.
However, he says he'll not be waiting on the Agriculture Ministry to provide the consultant, as he says the JAS will be meeting as early as next month to put its plans together.
So within 6 months, we will have an exit plan that will come out of the retreat and hopefully will be approved by our board in early July. our AGM at 3rd of July, and this is what we will put to government, how we will move forward. We'll also seek in our exit some private-public partnership.
Mr. Hutchinson says in order for the sector to grow as is needed, farmers must view what they do as a business in order for them to get maximum output. O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
News now in sports. It's the final hurrah this evening when title holders Portmore United and Waterhouse bring the curtains down on the Red Stripe Premier League season at the National Stadium. The match starts at 8:35. Jordan Fort has our preview.
They were at it last season with Portmore United coming away the winner on penalties. This will be the fourth consecutive trip for Portmore United to the final under the new format, while it will be the third for Waterhouse. The two, along with Arnett Gardens and Montego Bay United, are the only teams to reach a final under the new format, but Waterhouse are the only ones yet to taste victory.
You know, history starts at one, and hopefully this year it can be historic for us.
Portmore are being led to the final by talisman Javon East, but despite pumping in the goals in the regular season, he's yet to score in a final from 3 previous attempts.
It's all about the team, and anyone can deliver on the day. So it's not all about me, it's about the team.
But East's lack of fortune doesn't give the Waterhouse camp any comfort.
This year, I think he's a little bit more potent, and he have a little bit more to his game this year. But he's a talisman and for the team. But I know about supply and demand. If there's no supply, I mean, you know, the demands are greater.
For Portmore to be victorious, defender Damano Solomon identified the man they'll have to stop.
I will always say Tremaine, fairly good distant player, can work miracles. So, I mean, he will be the most highly person we should actually look at.
As for the fans, you can expect Portmore to be outnumbered, but Andre Lewis welcomes the crowd.
Growing up as a player, I like the crowd. I like play big games because that's when you get to show your talent and can show, say, oh, I'm a good player like anyone else, and me love big games. So the fans not going to really get to me, you know, I'm happy how the fans are going to come out because we need that in Jamaica. We need games where the stadium packed because players perform when the atmosphere is good.
This will be Coach Shavar Thomas's last match in charge of Portmore, but he says there'll be no shedding of tears.
I'm not the one who shed tears easily, but, you know, tears of joy and you know, sometimes it's important, you know, to bring out, you know, express yourself. My brother is one that does that very easily, very modeling, but, you know, I will hold my emotions in and try to, you know, stay on the ground for the most part of it.
Portmore have won the title on 6 occasions, while Waterhouse have done so twice. Jordan Fort, TVJ Sports.
And that's the Midday News. I'm Herman Green. Remember, Primetime News is at 7. On behalf of the News Sports and Production teams, good afternoon.